Okay, now we're moving into our earthquake report, and it's Thursday, May 30th, 2019, 5:17 p.m. Pacific Time, United States of America. So, we have USGS pulled up here for all magnitudes for the last 24 hours. We're showing 267 earthquakes worldwide. Of those, 24 are 2.5 magnitude and higher. I've been tracking the Oroville Dam level. Let's see if... Nope, their servers are down. The last reading was at 2 o'clock this afternoon that I was able to get, and it's at 894.95 feet and rising. So it's almost 895. And the top of the emergency spillway is 901 feet. So there are other channels following all of that you can look at. I'll leave the links below. So we've had some large earthquakes in the last 24 hours. Let's look at 2.5 magnitude. Here's a 3.1 Dominican Republic, 2.5 Unalaska, 3.1 Shishmaref. Okay, I'm going to start down here in Australia. We don't normally see them in the center of the country like this, but there have been two right here in the middle of Australia. There was a 5.3. These are at the same place, Tennant Creek, Australia. This happened last night at 7:26 p.m. Pacific time. All these times are Pacific time because that's my time zone. And then there was a 4.4 at 12:38 this morning. So it looks like it's in the desert. I haven't looked at Google Earth to see what's there. We can certainly do that. There it is. It's in the middle of the desert and it gets blurry as we zoom in, so that's where those two earthquakes were. Looks very red there. So that's the interior of Australia. Looks pretty flat. So I don't know if there's drilling operations or what's going on there. So there's that. Then down here in the South Pacific is a 5.7 near Viney, Tonga at 8:38 this morning, 172 kilometers deep. Here's a 4.6 near Dili, East Timor, Indonesia at 12:04 this morning, 150 kilometers deep. Here's a 4.1 near Agrihan, Northern Mariana Islands at 11:23 that last night, 468 kilometers deep. Here's a 4.4 off the coast of Hisaki, Japan at 3:33 this afternoon. Then 2 here in Afghanistan of 4.3 at 10:22 last night, 105 kilometers deep, and a 4.2 at 11:44 last night, 224 kilometers deep. Then in Iran was a 4.1 near Ku Safed, Iran at 4:09 this afternoon. So that's on the west side. Now coming across in South America was a 4.9 near San Pedro de Atacama, Chile at 8:34 last night. 4.7 near Orcopampa, Peru at 11:55 this morning. 4.8 near Minas de Marcona, Peru at 2:20 this morning. And then down here off the coast of El Salvador have been 3. This is the biggest one. It's a 6.6 that came in at 2:03 this morning. This is off the coast of La Libertad, El Salvador. Then a 4.3 at 3:21 this morning, and another 4.3 at 3:36 this afternoon. So that's on the red line, but with it being in the ocean, didn't cause any damage. The water buffers it. Now, that's all of the international quakes. So we'll go to Hawaii next. We've got 7 here today. 3.0, 1.8, 1.6, 2.1, 1.0, and 1.7, and a 2.4. So there's movement there. Dominican Republic, the Caribbean has 7 here today. 3.1 and 3.1, those are the highest ones. Now up in Alaska, we've got 59 here today. Here's a 2.5 Unalaska. .5 Cantwell, and a 3.1 Shishmaref. That one came in at 6:18 last night. So the rest of these are under 2.5 magnitude. Let's look at Kobuk. It's clustering again. There's 17 here. 2.4 is the highest. The rest are under that. Then we've got them coming down through the state. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on those. Now coming down to the lower 48, we've got 3 right here at the New Madrid hazard zone, a 2.2, 1.6, and a 1.5. Next we have this whole slew of earthquakes in Oklahoma. Normally we'll see 1 or 2 over here, but we've got 8 here today. .4 near Moreland, 2.0 Medford, .3 Pawnee, 1.4 Perry, 1.5 Perry, 1.9 Medford, 2.4 Lindsay, and 2.2 Union City. So that's a lot there. Now in Utah, we've got a 1.1 at Cedar City. Here's one on the border between Utah and Idaho. It's a .7. Then we've got 2 down here at Paris, Idaho, a 2.3 and a 2.3. So 2 at the same time, 30 seconds apart. 5:24 this morning at 5 seconds after, and then 5:24 at 35 seconds after, so 30 seconds apart. Then up here at Yellowstone, we've got 11 here today. We've got 1.7 magnitude quarry blast at Butte at 12:02 today. Here's a 1.1 magnitude quarry blast at Virginia City at 12:28 today. So I'll just call these off. 11, 1.3 and a 1.1, both at West Yellowstone. 1.1 Manhattan. Here's a 0.9 West Yellowstone. 0.8 West Yellowstone. 1.0 Lincoln. 0.7 Lima. 2.4 Manhattan. 1.8, that's the quarry blast. Oh, this is the third quarry blast. Townsend? 1.8 Townsend at 11:02 this morning. That's a quarry blast. So there were 3 quarry blasts, all in the Yellowstone region today. Here's one up at the border, 1.6 near North Browning, Montana. That happened at 12:31 this morning. Now in the Northwest Pacific, in Washington State, we've got 7 here. This is down by Mount St. Helens, and this is Mount Rainier. So we've got 2 by Mount St. Helens and 3 by Mount Rainier. So I think the volcanoes are waking up. 0.8, they're calling it at Packwood. That's near Mount Rainier. Here's another 0.8 there, and a 0.6 right next to it. Okay, now these are down at Mount St. Helens at 0.3 and a 0.8. And then we've got a 0.9 and a 0.6 at Benton City. So the tremor map is up. The results for the 28th are 284 tremors. For May 28th, that was 2 days ago, and they're all centered down here by Medford, Oregon. Not seeing any up here in Portland or Seattle area.
And for the 29th, they're saying no tremor in this time range. Well, the website, or this part of the website was down yesterday. It could be they didn't get their data recorded for the 29th. Let's see if anything's in for the 30th. Not yet. So that's what we got there. Portland is clear. So all those tremors that we saw, let's go back. Are to the west of Medford, Oregon. There's Salem. There's Portland. There's Eugene. Where's Medford? Down here. So Medford is almost at the border for California, Oregon and well, it's close to the southern part of the state. So we're seeing those swarms right up here at Grants Pass. Right around there. Or the tremors. Okay, coming on down into California. Oh, by the way, earlier today I saw one, like a 1.2 or something, up here north of Mount Shasta, and they took that off the map. So right here was a 2.3. They're calling it near Belden, California, at a minus 1.2 kilometer depth. This is in the mountains. This is a mountainous area, and this means that the epicenter of the earthquake is up in the mountain. So, you know, if it's volcanic area, which most of this area is, then the magma could be moving up in the chamber and causing that earthquake. And this is Lake Almanor. And on Google Earth, when you look at this and you measure it, that's 21 miles from this earthquake to the dam, Canyon Dam, right here at the south end of Lake Almanor is about 21 miles. So we've been seeing earthquakes around here the last few days. And here's a reservoir, Butte Valley Reservoir. There are all these reservoirs around, so I'm concerned. And here's Bucks Lake, that's also a reservoir. You know, I'm very concerned about these earthquakes up here. With all these reservoirs are full, and the water is causing a lot of pressure. That's what I'm thinking. Here was one in the middle of Lake Tahoe today at 0.4 that happened at 1:07 this morning. Then down here in this area we've got 5. Here's this 0.9, they're calling it near Fallon, but it's way southeast of Fallon. 1.1 at Gabbs. The rest of these are at Hawthorne. Small ones at Hawthorne. Walker Lake. Now in southern Nevada, we have 11 here today. The majority of them are down here by Alamo. And these are small, 1s and under. Here in the Mammoth area, we've got 18 here today. Now let's see what we had that's 2.5 magnitude or higher. Where is that? We just had a 3.2 at the geysers. That's not comforting. Okay, 2.7 Mammoth Lakes and a 2.5 at Wilkerson and 2.6 Gardena, California. So, got some larger ones here. Okay, here's the 2.5 at Wilkerson. Here's the 2.7 at Mammoth Lakes. So the rest of these are smaller. Here's a 2.3. Then the rest of them are 1s and under. So that's showing quite a bit of movement there. Coming on down to Coso Junction area, we have 8 here today. 1.1, 1.6. That 1.6 is the biggest one, it looks like, at Olancha. But we saw a whole bunch of swarming here at Olancha the last few days, so just 1 there today. .5 bodfish. Coming on into Southern California, we've got 49 here today, so that's an uptick in the number. 1.5 at Ludlow. So over here is our 2.6 at Gardena, and a 1.2 at the same place. This 2.6 came in at 10:40 last night. .0 Idlewild. So there must be a bunch of clusters to see this. You know, it's showing 49, but frankly it doesn't look like 49. They must be stacked up. Here's 4 at Ocotillo. Let's look at Glen Avon. They were having a whole bunch. Here's 13 at Glen Avon. So that's still shaking there. And so on. Okay, let's come on up this San Andreas fault line. Well, we've got a bunch here today. We've got 2 here. 1.1 Kolami and a 1.0 same place. Here's a 0.6 Parkfield. 2.3 San Lucas. 1.5 Pinnacles and 2.0 Pinnacles. Here's a 2.4 San Martin. .4 near the San Francisco Zoo. It's out in the ocean.
Here's a 1.4 near Alamo. And here's 42 at the geysers here today. There's 3.1. That's the biggest one. And they're still coming in. Look at that. That was at 5:17. And then a 0.9. 1.1, 1.1, 0.6, 0.6, 0.6, 0.8, 0.6 till 5:32. So this is really shaking. 42 there today. And most of these are small ones. Most of them are under 1. That 3.1 or whatever it was is the highest. The biggest one. And then up here at Redwood Valley, we've got a 2.3 at 10:37 this morning, a 1.8 at 11:14 this morning, and a 1.0 at 3:01 this afternoon. So that's ramping up in California and in the United States, especially here in Oklahoma. And there, we've got activity. What can I say? See if anything else came in on the earthquakes. 2.4 Pahala, Hawaii. That came in at 5:03. So I think that's a wrap for the earthquakes. So I do think time is short and everyone needs to get their spiritual house in order ASAP. ASAP. There's no time to waste. No time to waste.